Imagine this, a nation built on dreams and promises now facing its greatest challenge in decades. Thousands of people, desperate for safety and opportunity, crossing borders every day. For some, it's a beacon of hope. For others, it's a sign of chaos. What happens when the American dream begins to crack under pressure? Is this the crisis that will finally push America to its breaking point? Stick around, because in the next 10 minutes, we're peeling back the layers of a story you won't find in the headlines, a crisis that impacts not just the United States but the entire global order. America has always been a land of opportunity, a country shaped by waves of immigrants chasing dreams of freedom and prosperity. But today, the numbers are staggering. In 2024 alone, over 2.7 million migrants crossed the U.S. Mexico border, double the population of cities like Houston or Chicago. It's no longer just a border issue, it's a national crisis. But why now? What's fueling this unprecedented movement? Let's start with the root causes. In countries like Venezuela, Honduras, and Haiti, collapsing economies have left millions desperate. Families face impossible choices, stay and risk starvation, or leave everything behind for a chance at survival. Rising sea levels, droughts, and hurricanes have displaced entire communities. Did you know that by 2050, climate change could force over 200 million people globally to migrate? The U.S., as a major economic power, is an obvious destination. Now, let me ask you, what would you do if your home was underwater or your kids went to bed hungry? Could you blame someone for crossing a border if it meant saving their family? Add to this the collapse of governments. In countries plagued by corruption and violence, people aren't just running from poverty, they're running for their lives. For them, America isn't just an opportunity, it's their last hope. But as more people arrive, the cracks in America's immigration system become impossible to ignore. How long can the nation hold up under this pressure? Let's look at the ripple effects next. This isn't just a border story. It's a story about the heartland, the suburbs, and even cities thousands of miles away from the U.S. Mexico border. The effects of mass immigration are being felt everywhere, and not all of them are positive. Schools are overcrowded, hospitals are stretched thin, housing prices are skyrocketing in many communities, fueled in part by the increased demand. Local governments, particularly in border states, are struggling to keep up. The price tag? Billions of taxpayer dollars. In cities like El Paso, Texas, shelters are overflowing. In New York City, emergency housing programs are at a breaking point. It's not a question of generosity, it's a question of capacity. And let's be real, if you've ever waited at the DMV, you know America's systems aren't exactly built for efficiency. Now imagine adding millions more people to the equation. But it's not just economics. Cultural clashes are becoming harder to ignore. Longtime residents feel their communities are changing too quickly. In some areas, this has led to protests, even violence. So who's right? The people seeking a better life, or the communities trying to protect their way of life? It's not an easy answer, and the stakes are only getting higher. But let's not forget the other side of the story, because despite the challenges, immigrants also bring incredible value to the economy. The question is, does the good outweigh the bad? Here's the irony. Immigrants contribute billions to the U.S. economy each year. They work in industries that many Americans avoid: agriculture, construction, hospitality. Without them, entire sectors could collapse. Studies show that immigrant-owned businesses generate billions in revenue and create thousands of jobs. They pay taxes, they innovate, and they enrich American culture in countless ways. But here's the twist. If immigrants are such a boon, why does the crisis feel so overwhelming? Why are so many Americans angry, afraid, and divided? The immigration debate has become a political minefield. On one side, calls for stricter border policies and deportations. On the other, demands for compassion and reform. But neither side seems willing to compromise. And in the middle of this tug-of-war are real people, both immigrants and American citizens, trying to navigate a system that feels broken for everyone. So where does this leave us? Can America find a solution that balances humanity with practicality? Or is the system destined to crumble under its own weight? The immigration crisis is more than a policy issue. It's a test of America's values, resilience, and identity. The choices made today will shape the nation for decades to come. If you found this video thought-provoking, you won't want to miss my deep dive into another silent crisis reshaping the world. The silent collapse of Islam, why the 21st century could change everything. Click the end screen to explore this global shift. What's your take on the immigration debate? Are there solutions we haven't explored? Share your thoughts in the comments below and let's keep this conversation going. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you want more content like this. Together we can unravel the stories that shape our world.